Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watch Team is here with a tropical weather update. Today we're going to be talking about Invest 92S as well as Invest 93S. Our main topic will be Invest 92S as it will be impacting land, particularly southern Madagascar and southwestern Madagascar with heavy rain, particularly heavy rain and flooding. The strong winds, storm surge will not be the main impacts. Invest 93S is just out to sea. It's an open system out there. We're not seeing or expecting any impacts with land from Invest 93S. Let's get into this update. So as you can see here, we are starting to see some of that satellite imagery for Invest 92S. I believe most of the convection is situated there right off the western coast of Madagascar. Looking at that here, you can see on the infrared, there is a majority of the convection is situated off the west coast of Madagascar and a little bit there in portions of eastern Mozambique. The overall center circulation still remains in the channel of Madagascar. There is not a lot of convection near the center. There is still some more time for organization, but we expect winds to be about 35 knots or 30 to 35 knots, 35 miles an hour to about 40 miles an hour upon landfall, possibly if that does in fact happen there in southern and southwestern Madagascar. Here you can see from La Réunion Meteorological Organization Agency here from Meteo France. You can see the center circulation right there and where it's going to go. Just because you're not in the cone of uncertainty does not mean you will not see impacts. The cone of uncertainty just states where the center of the storm should be within 2/3 of the time. With that being said, just because you're not in the cone of uncertainty does not mean you will not see impacts. I do expect a majority of southern Madagascar and southwestern Madagascar to see heavy rain and flooding as they already are. Mudslides and landslides will also be a possibility on Madagascar. Strong winds will not be a main issue. We could see winds gusting up to 50 miles an hour are possible, and we could see definitely some rough seas as this storm gets closer to the southwestern coast of Madagascar. Looking at Invest 93S here, lots of convection, probably a center trying to organize under all those clouds there. As you can see, there is a huge amount of convection. However, this storm, luckily, will not be impacting land. Some more news is we are watching another system which could be impacting Mauritius and La Réunion later on. Again, this is another storm that we're going to have to watch later after this Invest 92S makes its way away from Madagascar. We will shift our attention to this storm over here. Looking at the bigger picture, you can see Invest 93S right there due south of India. And then you can also see there, a lot of the models kind of have Invest 92S just kind of all over the place. And then another system trying to develop down there in the channel of Madagascar. This right here is the GFS model. So certainly seeing some more systems, another system possibly developing there in the channel of Madagascar. This next model is the European model, the ECMWF. As you can see, it remains relatively unorganized and just sort of just sits over there over portions of off the coast of southern Madagascar there in the Strait of Madagascar between Madagascar and Mozambique. Again, that system, Invest 93S, just sort of sits there, doesn't really do a lot, never really organizes into anything. But most worried about Invest 92S as it is expected to, according to this one model, just sort of sit there and really not do a whole lot. And what that does is it just drops a lot of rain. There's lots of flooding. There could be landslides and lots of torrential downpours with this system. Looking at some other models here, again, not looking like a whole lot there with Invest 93S. All the models really indicating that that storm is not going to organize into anything severe. Now with Invest 92S, it makes its way closer to Madagascar. It turns back as it moves away from Madagascar towards Mozambique. It completely falls apart probably because of the wind shear that it is experiencing. And then one of the last models we want to look at here, the GEM model. There might be one more. There's one more. This model here, again, Invest 93S remains relatively weak. Again, no impacts to land. But again, we're also looking at that Invest 92S. It does not slow down. It continues moving. It moves right by Madagascar. Does not make landfall. So there will be heavy rains according to this one model, but it does not look like it will stall, which would be the best case scenario for Madagascar. Now, what is the icon showing? Again, the icon, also, all of these are just showing that Invest 93S, the one just sitting out there, does not get too strong. Now, this one model does show it towards the end of this frames here. It does get a little bit stronger, but I'm not really expecting it to really turn into anything serious. Maybe some big swells for Reunion and Mauritius there for sure, if this model does play out to be correct. But it also kind of has Invest 93S just sort of sitting there around Madagascar. In terms of rainfall, this is going to be in inches. Okay? All the way up to the purples, you'll see 2.5 inches. Once you get into the lighter pinks, we're talking 5 and 6 inches. And then once you get into those, I guess, bluish, grayish colors, you're talking in upwards of 8 to 10 inches of rain. Again, along the southwest coast of Madagascar, we are expecting about 8 to 10 inches of rain. Across all of southern Madagascar, we are in fact expecting 3 to 4 inches is going to be really widespread. But isolated areas, I do believe, right along the immediate coastline could see areas upwards of a foot or 1/3 of a meter. Thought there was another slide there. No. Okay. So that's what we have there for the flooding. Flooding is going to be a big issue, something that we need to continue to cover. Again, if you have any more comments, questions, or concerns, first of all, subscribe to us on YouTube. Comment down below any comments, questions, concerns you have. We're going to be posting a lot more on Patreon as we are actually coming back, and I'm going to try to make sure we come back for good and not just disappear for a few months, right? We have a Discord server. And then also follow us on Blue Sky. Links will be down in the description below. With all that being said, thank you for watching. This has been the Hurricane Watch Team, your source for cyclone information. As always, stay safe and peace out.